I did a little bit of stuff since you last saw me on GTA.
Well, like 20 minutes.
I haven't streamed GTA in a few weeks. Turn that off, Alfie, so my stream isn't got copyrighted content, because I make money off these. Just kidding, no I don't. But anyway, I bought an MOC and I got the, you can see it from here, I got the 8-bit arcade just cause I prefer Videogeddon. Now that I have 8-bit, I know I liked Videogeddon more, but whatever, what's done is done. I'm gonna go to the casino, get my spin of the day. Oops. We've got artwork on the big con, Alfie. Do you want to set up yours or do you want to do mine? What? What, Alfie?
Wait.
Interview crocodile alligator. Join my session, not Chase. Alfie.
I'm doing something.
Teacher says, little Johnny, I got rid of. Little Johnny goes to the corner store to buy some dog food. He goes back, grabs a bag, brings it up to the counter, and then he says, I can't sell you this. He said, why? He says, I need to have evidence that you have a dog. So little Johnny goes home, grabs his dog, brings it back, and they sell him dog food. Well, the next day, he wants some cat food. So he goes to the store, he brings the cat food up to the front, and she says, I can't sell you this. He said, why? He said, I need to have evidence that you have a cat. So little Johnny goes and gets his cat, brings it back, suffices. She lets him get the cat food. Well, the next day, little Johnny brings in a little box with a hole in it. He says, here, put your finger in there. She says, oh, it's kind of nice and warm and soft. He says, oh, okay. Will that do? Can I get some toilet paper now? Little Johnny goes to the corner store to buy some dog food. He goes back, grabs a bag, brings it up to the counter, and the teacher says, little Johnny, I got a riddle for you. When does success come before work? Little Johnny says, that's easy. Well, you're taking a crap on company time. Teacher says, well, the correct answer is in a dictionary, but I like the way you're thinking. Little Johnny says, all right, Teach, I got one for you. You like to put your finger in me. You play with me when you're bored, and the best man always has me first. What am I? Teacher says, little Johnny, you go to the principal's office. He says, what for? I'm a wedding ring. But I like the way you're thinking. Hey, John, want to hear a joke? Yeah. So the teacher says, all right, class, I want you to name off something that you can suck. Little Susie raises her hand, and she says, a sucker. Teacher says, that's good, little Susie. Little Billy raises his hand. He says, a popsicle. Teacher says, yeah, you can suck a popsicle. Little Johnny raises his hand and says, a lamp. She says, how can you suck a lamp? Little Johnny says, I don't know, but last night I was walking past my parents' bedroom, and my mom said, hey, honey, turn off that lamp so I can suck it. Hey, John, want to hear a joke? Yeah. So the teacher says, all right, Clint. Hey, John, want to hear a joke? Yeah. All right, little Johnny gets sent home early from school, and he's all in trouble. And his dad said, what'd you do? He said, well, The teacher in math class sent me home. He says, I can see that. He said, what'd you do? He said, I don't know what I did. So the teacher asked me what 2 times 3 was, and I told him 6. I said, yeah. He said, but then he asked me what 3 times 2 was. His dad says, what's the fucking difference? He said, yeah, that's what I told him. Hey, John, want to hear a joke? Yeah. All right, little Johnny.
I'm not
It's
dead.
early. Hey, John, want to hear a joke? Yeah. Little Johnny got his first job at an adult toy store at college. And the first day, this brunette walks in and she says, how much for this black sex toy? He said, $50 for the black one, $50 for the pink one. She says, that's way too much money. She walks up. Well, about 10 minutes later, the redhead comes in. She says, how much for this pink sex toy? He says, well, $50 for the pink one and $50 for the black one. She says, that's way too much money. Well, about a half hour later, a blonde walks in and she says, how much are these sex toys? He says, $50 for the pink one and $50 for the black one. She goes, oh, well, how much for that plaid one behind you? He says, oh, that's a special one. That's $250. She says, I'll take it. Oh, the boss comes in later on. He says, well, how'd you do today? He says, well, I didn't sell any dildos, but I did sell your thermos for $250. Hey, John, want to hear a joke? It was the first day of school, and the teacher asked the kids to tell her something exciting that they did over the summer. Little Johnny had his hand high in the air, but the teacher didn't want to call on him because little Johnny always said something vulgar and obscene. So she went all the way through the class, and little Johnny still sat there patiently with his arm up in the air, and she reluctantly called on him. She said, okay, little Johnny, come on up to the front of the class and tell us what you did that was exciting over the summer. So little Johnny walked up to the front, grabbed the chalk out of the teacher's hand, and put a dot in the middle of the chalkboard. Teacher says, what's that? He says, that's a period. She said, okay, what's so exciting about a period? He says, I don't know. But last month, my sister missed hers. My mom fainted, my dad had a heart attack, and the guy next door shot himself. It was the first day of school, and the teacher asked the kids to tell her something exciting that they did over the summer. Little Johnny had his hand high in the air, but the teacher didn't want to call on him because little Johnny always said something vulgar and obscene. So she went all the way through the class, and little Johnny still sat there patiently with his arm up in the air, and she reluctantly called on him. She said, okay, little Johnny, come on up to the front. It's so hot out that when I fart, I can't tell if I shit my pants or if I'm just spraying the sweat off my butthole. One day, little Johnny's teacher was sick, and so they had a substitute. Little Johnny decided to come in a little bit late. He comes in, the teacher says, what's your name? My name's Johnny. She said, where have you been? He said, I was on top of Blueberry Hill. She said, you sit down here in the front of the class. They sits down. Yesterday morning, my employee called me. Said, boss, I can't come in today. I said, what do you mean you can't come in today? He says, yeah, I'm sick. I said, sick? I just saw you last night. Where are you sick from? He says, I got anal blindness. I said, anal blindness? What's that? He says, yeah, I don't see my ass coming to work today. I said, boy, get your ass to work. TikTok will not be ending for Americans on September 15th. I really don't see it happening at all. I've said that. Hey, John, want to hear a joke? Yeah. Little Johnny was playing at the park when he noticed his dad's car drive by with his Aunt Sarah in it. Little Johnny followed the car and noticed that they stopped at the park where there wasn't a whole lot of people around, and they got out and they started kissing and went and took a blanket and they started taking off clothes, and little Johnny saw a whole lot, so he ran home and he told his mom exactly what happened. He said, Mama, Dad and Aunt Sarah started kissing and taking off their clothes, and his mom says, well, little Johnny, how about you save this story for when your dad gets home and we can talk about it. Hey, John, want to hear a joke? Yep. So there's this masked man that goes into this bank and he's going to rob the place, and as he gets up to the teller, his mask falls off. Hey, Johnny, want to hear a joke? Yeah. So little Johnny and little Susie had been married for about 15 years, and she had never achieved an orgasm. So they decided to go see a sex therapist. The sex therapist recommended going out and finding a very good-looking young man, bringing him over to the house while they have sex, and handing him a towel to fan over her face so she can look up and fantasize of being with him and hopefully achieve orgasm. So they go and try that, and nothing worked. Nothing worked at all. So they go back to the sex therapist, and this is what she says. All right, this time, little Johnny, you take the towel, fan it over her face, and have the young man have sex with her. So they go home and try it, and she has the most mind-blowing orgasm she's ever had. And little Johnny gets done, throws the towel at the man, and says, "You see, young man, that's how you wave a towel." Hey, Johnny, want to hear a joke? Yeah. So little Johnny and little Susie had been married for about 15 years, and she had never achieved an orgasm. So they decided to go see a sex therapist. The sex therapist recommended going out and finding a very good-looking young man, bringing him over to the house while they have sex, and handing him a towel to fan over her face so she can look up and fantasize of being with him and hopefully achieve orgasm. So they go and try that, and nothing worked. Nothing worked at all. So they go back to the sex therapist, and this is what she says. All right, this time, little Johnny, you take the towel, fan it over her face, and have the young man have sex with her. So they go home and try it, and she has the most mind-blowing orgasm she's ever had. And little Johnny gets done, throws the towel at the man, and says, "You see, young man, that's how you wave a towel." Hey, Johnny, want to hear a joke? Yeah. So little Johnny and little Susie had been married for about 15 years, and she... Hey, John, want to hear a joke? Yeah. The Sunday school teacher asked the kids, "I want you to tell me something about Jesus." Little Susie raises her hand, and she says, "Jesus is in my heart." Teacher says, "That's correct, little Susie." Little Billy raises his hand, and he says, "Jesus died for our sins on the cross." Teacher says, "Yes, that is very good, Billy." Little Johnny raises his hand and he says, "Jesus drives a big red truck and he doesn't know how to drive." Teacher says, "How do you know that? Who told you that?" He says, "Nobody. But I was out riding around with my dad one day and this guy cut us off on his big red truck and Dad said, 'Jesus Christ, learn how to drive!'" Hey, John, want to hear a joke? Yep. The Sunday school teacher asked the kids, "I want you to tell me something about Jesus." Little Susie raises her hand and she says, "Jesus is in my heart." Teacher says, "That's correct, little Susie." Little Billy raises his hand and he says, "Jesus died for our sins on the cross." Teacher says, "Yes, that is very good, little Billy." Little Johnny raises his hand and he says, "Jesus drives a big red truck." One day, little Johnny's teacher is sick, and so a substitute comes in, and she walks in and writes her name on the board, Prussy. She says, "Hi, class, my name is Mrs. Prussy, and remember, there's an R in my name." And the kids say, "Hi, Mrs. Prussy." Well, a couple weeks go by, and little Johnny's teacher's sick again, and that same substitute comes back, and she walks up to little Johnny and says, "Hey, do you remember me?" He says, "Yeah, I remember you." She says, "Oh, yeah, what's my name?" He says, "I remember it has an R in it." And she says, yeah, it does." He says, "Oh, yeah, Mrs. Crunt." One day, little Johnny's teacher is sick, and so a substitute comes in, and she walks in and writes her name on the board, Prussy. She says, "Hi, class, my name is Mrs. Prussy, and remember, there's an R in my name." And the kids say, "Hi, Mrs. Prussy." Little Johnny and his buddy Tony were out walking through the forest one day when Tony bent down to pick up a stick and was bit by a rattlesnake right in the pecker. He says, "Little Johnny, we got to call the doctor. I don't think we have much time." Little Johnny gets the doctor on the phone and tells him what happened, and the doctor says, "Well, little Johnny, there's only one thing you can do. So you're going to have to suck the poison from where he was bit." He says, "Doc, are you sure there's nothing else we could do?" The doctor says, "Johnny, I'm afraid not." He says, "Okay, Doc." Gets off the phone, and Tony says, "Well, what happened? What did he say?" Johnny says, I'm sorry,
I'm
Tony."
doing live in 3,
Doctor
2,
says you're going to die.
let's go.
Little Johnny and his buddy Tony were out walking through the forest one day when Tony bent down to pick up a stick and was bit by a rattlesnake right in the pecker. He says, "Little Johnny, we got to call the doctor. I don't think we have much time." Little Johnny gets the doctor on the phone and tells him what happened, and the doctor says, "Well, little Johnny, there's only one thing you can do. So You're gonna have to suck the poison from where he was bit. He says, Doc, are you sure there's nothing else we can do? The doctor says, well, Johnny, I'm afraid not. He says, okay, Doc. Gets off the phone, and Tony says, well, what happened? What did he say? Well, Johnny says, I'm sorry, Tony. Doctor says you're gonna die. Little Johnny and his buddy Tony were out walking through the forest one day when Tony bent down to pick up a stick and was bit by a woodpecker. Johnny, we gotta call the doctor. I don't think we have much time. Little Johnny gets the doctor on the phone and tells him what happened, and the doctor says, well, little Johnny, there's only one thing you can do. You're gonna have to suck the poison from where he was bit. He says, Doc, are you sure there's nothing else we can do? The doctor says, Johnny, I'm afraid not. Little Johnny's class went on a field trip to the fire department, and the fireman held up a smoke detector and says, do you know what this is? Johnny raises his hand. He says, yeah, I know exactly what that is. Fireman says, what is it? He says, that's what my mom uses to tell us when the food's ready. Little Johnny's class went on a field trip to the fire department, and the fireman held up a smoke detector and says, do you know what this is? Johnny raises his hand. He says, yeah, I know exactly what that is. There's three boys sitting out on the front porch waiting for little Johnny to get home. And out in the street, there's a Maserati, a Lamborghini, and a Ferrari. First boy says, when I get older, I want to be a doctor so I can own that Maserati out there. Second boy says, yeah, when I get older, I want to be a dentist so I can own that Lamborghini out there. Third boy says, yeah, when I get older, I want to be in real estate so I can own that Ferrari out there. And little Johnny comes home and he asks the boys what they're talking about, and they tell him about the cars, and he says, you guys got it all. When I get older, I want to have hair all over my body because my sister only has a patch this big, and she owns all three of those cars. There's three boys sitting out on the front porch. The Sunday school teacher asks the kids, do you know where Jesus is? Little Susie raises her hand. She says, Jesus is in my heart. The teacher says, that's correct, little Susie. Little Billy raises his hand and he says, Jesus is in heaven. The teacher says, you're correct, little Billy. Little Johnny raises his hand and he says, Jesus is in my bathroom. The teacher says, well, how do you know that? Well, every morning, my dad gets up, goes over to the bathroom, and knocks on the door and says, Jesus Christ, are you still in there? Little Johnny, a philosopher and a mathematician, had all died on the same day. And they went up to heaven, and they were greeted by the devil. And the devil says, sorry, guys, there's not enough room in heaven for you. What I'm going to do is, I want you all to ask me a question. And if I get it right, you all go to hell. But if I get it wrong, you can go into heaven. The mathematician was up first, and he says, I want you to produce for me the hardest math question ever written. Poof, a big stack of papers. He looks it over. He says, you're correct. And Satan says, go to hell. The philosopher is up next. He says, all right, I want you to produce for me the most comprehensive writings that Socrates have ever written. Poof, a big stack of paper comes up. The philosopher looks it over. He says,
Here, give me a second.
Satan says,
I'm already in one.
Little Johnny says, all right, Satan, I want you to give me a chair with 7 holes in it. Chair comes up, little Johnny sits down on it and lets out a huge fart. He says, all right, Satan, which hole did that come from? Satan thinks about it. He says, I think it came from the third one from the right. He says, wrong, it came from my asshole. Can I go now? Little Johnny, philosopher and a mathematician, had all died on the same day. And then little Susie goes to the pet shop because she wants to buy a parrot. She sees there's 3 of them there, and one of them was $2,500. One of them was $1,500, and one was for only $10. She says, why is this one only $10?
Hi, Chase. Bye, Alpha.
You don't want that one. That one was used to be at a brothel, and he says a lot.
Hi, Chase.
Hi. Why'd you kick Alpha?
Just cause I don't want him here. If me and you were playing.
Oh, Jesus. Oh. Why is there like a little... Oh, your stream, aren't you?
Yeah.
I see your little video thing pop up on the top of my screen. It has Far Cry 5 reinstalled yet?
It has.
Oh, okay, good.
I'll play in a minute. Let me just do this casino heist.
I have all of my all of the partners now. I mainly use Cheeseburger and
I only use cheeseburger and peaches.
Peaches, yeah, peaches. Peaches and cheeseburger will sometimes squabble. Like they'll start hitting each other.
Did you know in 2-player you can only use one pet?
I know.
Which is really annoying because I always want to use peaches and cheeseburger, but I can't. So peaches has to just sit in my inventory until we need to do a stealthy thing.
Yeah. I'm really, really close to defeating Jacob.
I'm gonna.
I've defeated Faith, defeated John, and I'm really, really close to defeating I'm on level 3.
If we play, can we go on my save because you've clearly already done a bunch of stuff.
No, I haven't done all of it. There's still a bunch of missions and stuff that I haven't done.
Yeah,
and
but I'm
a really high
gonna.
level with a lot of money, so I can get you some good guns.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't want to go on your save if you've already done a bunch of shit. I'm gonna start a new save.
No, I haven't done all of it. The only things I've done is beat the 2 regions. I've barely done anything in the 2 regions.
Do you want to play Borderlands 3 actually?
Maybe later.
Okay.
Could you tell Cheeseburger to go hunt bears?
You could.
Well, wouldn't he be killing his own cousins?
Yeah. You should really get this game.
John's Gate because
this game is really good.
What game?
GTA. You should really get it at like Christmas.
I'm asking for it for Christmas. Oh, by the way, my nan said if I don't have Ghost of Tsushima by the end of by Christmas, she'll get it for me.
Very nice. Oh,
Ghost of Tsushima looks like a cool game.
It does. I had the opportunity to get it, but I didn't take it because I felt bad.
And now you feel like an idiot.
No, I don't. I would have felt bad if I would have done it.
Why?
Because my grandma doesn't even have a proper job at the moment.
She doesn't have a proper job.
Like, do you know, because of COVID, she wasn't doing proper work, so...
Well, my nan doesn't even have a job anymore because she's in her 50s.
Is she retired?
I don't really know. She hasn't told me that she retired from any jobs. She just told me what job she had and that she doesn't have a job currently. I know my granddad isn't retired.
I'm gonna die. I am going to be murdered by smugglers on the coast of Palmino Highlands. No, why are we going down? Just fly up!
Have you ever thought in video games that you're the only person who would have saved those people? So if you want a thing, those people would probably be dead.
I've never thought that, but now that you mention it, that's probably true.
Like in this case, if you never applied for a police officer job, they wouldn't have crap, they would be dead by now. But it just so happens the person you play as is the only person who can save them.
That's probably not true, it's just the other people are too scared, or they're intimidated by the Seed family.
Yeah, they just need a leader. Like, Sean, all he does is say yes, you can slap the crap out of him. Jacob's the only one you really need to look out for, because he's an ex-military soldier, so he knows how to use guns.
Oh shit, Alfie's attacking me in a buzzard.
Eli's Miller Enter continues to push Colt Whitetail out. Talking about
Into the clock. No, Alfie's gonna kill me.
what's wrong with that?
Because he'll destroy my shipment.
Oh yeah, you shouldn't shoot them.
Ooh, He very nearly just hit me with a missile. Whoa! He just fucking blew it up. What a prick. Now I have to kill him.
Hey, what did you buy with your like 50,000 or like $50 million that you got?
That was Rufus.
Oh, how much did you get?
50 million.
How did you...
He's nicked my weapons.
I thought you said...
Why is he being such a scumbag? Why is he doing this?
Get your aggressor out. Get your aggressor out.
I just blew him up. I don't like griefing people, but I have to do what I have to do if he's going to steal my stuff.
I will take it back. Just don't you worry about that. Where is that? Oh crap, why am I in face reach? Why am I in face reach?
Why is he trying to grief my setup? Why is he trying to grief my setup? Why is he doing this? Grief much? Bloody hell.
What's the best weapon?
He's really good. I am gonna kill him.
What's the best weapon?
I don't know. But Alfie is stealing my weapons.
I would help you. Can't.
Now I have to shoot him up. And he's gonna cry.
Once when I was in school, Alfie whipped his penis out.
Why'd he do that?
He just whipped that out and started like walking at us. And ran at us with his penis. And we were like, what the hell?
I'm gonna actually kill him. Like, he's working my last nerve. Why is he doing this? I don't get it. I kicked him, whoopee-doo, he needs to stop being such a faggot. Earlier, right, do you know, I set up this entire casino heist by myself. It took me like 3 hours. And I give him half of everything I earned from it, even though he did nothing.
That's why you trust no one but yourself. You don't give anyone else anything.
I'm gonna fucking kill him. He'll know about it when I blow him to smithereens.
Destroy prison trucks.
Why is he being such a dick? Message him, tell him to stop being a dick.
I don't have a credit.
He just blew up my oppressor. He's just blown up my oppressor. That's it. I am closing my application. I'm